My name's Pen-Densham, and I at the moment live in Hollywood, and I'm a filmmaker. I get broken down into three hyphenates: a producer, a director, and a writer. And the writing part came when my partner John Watson and I moved from Toronto, where we had a film business, and were asked to consult on movies like Rocky II and Victory, and to work with some of the top Hollywood filmmakers in helping them put together some of their features. And at the same time, we were learning some of the process of how Hollywood worked, and came to the conclusion that it was really not as big a mystery as it seemed, that a lot of what went on in Hollywood was the same logics that we applied when we were making our shorter films in Canada, and that we should also feel encouraged enough to try writing our own scripts and being passionate and pushing the projects that we most believed in. One of the films that we explored was a project that was called Robin-Hood, and it was a script that I wrote as a 100-page story in a very passionate writing experience that I was encouraged by one of our staff, a guy called Mark Stern, to start writing it, when I had actually pitched the story to 3 studios and each of them had rejected it. And the reason I actually decided to go forward was just so much encouragement despite the rejection from the studio system. And my partner John Watson took the 100 pages that I'd written and turned it into a formatted screenplay, adding his own style and character elements and ideas, and then we collaborated on the finished work. And we had, at that point, despite hearing that the studios didn't want a Robin Hood because they were sure Men in Tights was not going to be a commercial aspect, we'd suddenly heard there was another Robin Hood that was going to get directed by John McTiernan. And we thought about actually quitting on our own script before it was finished because of that, but decided no, at least we should finish the work. And that was one of the things that one is always facing when you're creating something, is a sense of doubt, a sense of the inability to understand what the future could be, and are we wasting our time? Is this a foolish gesture? Is this going to be just another script on the pile? And I've got to tell you that we've had those, and that it's not always the answer that you get that it's actually worthy of the effort. But each time you write something, I believe part of you grows, part of you increases your skills, you're training your brain, your artistic muscles to find your voice. And so writing something, even when it doesn't get sold, is not necessarily a waste of time. It can actually be a deepening of your skill base. So our Robin Hood, we finished the script, and what we did was we shared it with some people and were stunned to find that there was a great, very positive response to the screenplay. And we put it out on the market, and we found that we were suddenly competing with 2 other studios, as well as the screenplay that was being supposedly made by John McTiernan at Fox. So from 3 studios rejecting the idea of Robin Hood to me, we now went to 4 studios all trying to make one in a rush. Luckily, and very much to the credit of my partner John Watson, we were able to get our movie made with Kevin Costner as the Robin Hood, and it went on to become a major success, and it put us on the map in Hollywood in a way that we had not been before. And that same year we were very lucky. We were able to make a movie with Ron Howard, which we produced, called Backdraft, again from a script that was written by a younger writer at that time, Greg Wyden, and it was a passion piece for him. He wanted to write about firemen in a way that he hadn't seen explored before, but he was writing it from his own experiences as a volunteer fireman. And I think that the most magical thing you can do is to find a reason to write a screenplay that comes from your inner chemistry. And I think those screenplays, which I call life scripts, are richer and more textured, and the characters have more flavors to them. And I believe that life scripts, things that impassion you, are the scripts that you will fight for the longest. They're the things that you will keep trying to sell, keep trying to learn why it hasn't sold, and make changes until people understand it and feel the same way that you do about it. I really don't recommend writing screenplays that are trying to catch a wave, that they're not really something that you care about personally, but they seem to be what the market wants. And I feel like that's a dangerous thing, because if you write something that you don't really care about, you're not going to fight for it when the going gets tough. You're not going to keep trying to find places to buy it. And you could well write something that's just a kind of bad Xerox copy of what other people are doing, and that doesn't make you an in-demand writer. It doesn't give you power of your own voice and passion to create that kind of sale. And you know, it reads in the words, and it reads in the way that you approach people. So I may be asking you to be a Van Gogh. I may be asking you to paint with a unique slant. But I do believe that that is the most rewarding way to create, and that if you're able to find a purpose in your heart for what you're writing, it does drive you forward. And I've had a couple of scripts that have been incredibly challenging, that things that have taken years to write, and I've had other scripts pour out of me, but they were from the heart kind of scripts, and I've never regretted writing them. I haven't sold them all, but I've sold, I think, and had movies made from more of my from the heart scripts than the ones that I've written that the studios wanted me to calculate and to meet certain standards and goals of salesmanship that they saw in a project. And so I have been learning on the job in Hollywood, but I feel like the thing that I've learned is that it's difficult to sell your creativity anywhere, anytime, but that the key of writing material that really has your soul in it is going to increase your skill base, make you fight longer, and be much more visible to other people that it's special in some way.